Hello everybody and welcome. So today I want to make a tutorial video talking about the game Jurassic World Evolution. Now I've had already a few hours into this game. I've built a couple of the theme parks already, and there's some mistakes I made along the way, and I want to help you guys avoid those mistakes and show you how this game works. So we're going to start a new game, and once I've taken you through the basics, I will show you the progress I've personally made and the decisions I made and so on. So let's do a new game. Existing Dead World Bureau, that's fine. I've already saved it. So the beginning of the game, you will find there's a lot of tutorials. You know, it will take you through some of the basics. But I wanted to give you a bit more advanced knowledge so that you can really get the most out of this game. I would say this game is fantastic. I've been having a ton of fun with it, and I really want people who play the game to get the most out of it. This game is available on Steam, on PlayStation 4, and on Xbox One. Okay, so we're loading in.
Okay, this is as good a place as any to...
Right, so let me take you through some of the basics of the game. I'll just reduce the audio of the game itself. Right, so you can rotate the camera by holding the middle mouse button. If you want to move around, hold the right click. If you want to select items, left click it. And you can also move around with WAS and D, and you can rotate the camera with Q and E. Now, there's some things to take note of. So during the tutorial, for example, it will tell you what you need to do. So the first thing we need to do is build this Hammond Creation Lab. What this does, essentially, is this is where you create dinosaurs, okay? So you essentially use this, you click on this, and you can incubate dinosaurs, but you need to make sure that it goes into an enclosure. So you can see an enclosure has already been made for us, and it's got water. It doesn't have really any food for them, so I'll show you how to do that in a sec. Now, one thing I would recommend is do not mix carnivores with herbivores. Like, if you want to have carnivores, set up a separate pin just for them. Now, first things first, you're going to need to make sure that any building is connected to the paths. So click on here, the paths button. We only have one type of path available right now, the cheap path, and connected to the pavement. That's it. So it's now connected to the pavement. It just means that people can walk to it. It's required in this game. Now, also as well, it has to be within the power grid, but we'll come to that in a moment. Okay, so we're going to incubate our first dinosaur. So to do that, you click on the Hammond Center. You have two spots initially to incubate. So incubate here, and we're going to incubate this one because it's the highest chance to incubate. When it's below a certain number, it has a chance to fail during incubation, whereas this one's got 65. We can modify genome, but I'll come back to that later. So let's incubate. Now, keep an eye on your money. Initially, we have 2.7 million, and we have to make sure as well that our income for the game is good so that we can keep operating the park properly. So at the beginning of the game, like I said, you'll have a lot of talking. It just takes you through, sets up the environment of the game, and so on. Now, one thing I have discovered when playing this game is that you have very limited space, to be honest, if you want to get the park to a maximum. So do consider that when building everything. Okay, so it's finished, 100%, no problem. Let's release it. So now it's released this dinosaur into the wild. You can right-click to skip the cutscene, but otherwise you can see it. Okay, so now there's things to notice here. We have here a fossil center, we have here the power plant, and we have the research lab initially. The research lab allows you to research more advanced buildings, more advanced dinosaurs, things like that. The power plant, obviously self-descriptive, it gives power to the facility, and also the fossil depot allows you to analyze fossils. Now, one thing you can do is you can set it up so that you go on expeditions. Those expeditions will take a team around the world, and it will allow them to dig up fossils, which you can use to find out new species of dinosaurs, or it might just give you really rare and expensive materials which you can sell, which you need for funding for your base. Now, while this talk is still going on, if you click on... Oh, you could. It's all disabled for now. You can click on the money to see where your revenue sources are coming from. This is your current rating of your theme park. Now, perfect timing. You have different missions you can do. These missions will pop up during the game. And what they are for, you can see, they're for the security division, or entertainment, or science. And you should accept and do the missions as they pop up, as much as you can. Some of the missions you won't actually be able to do until you've gone onto other islands, because there might be a species of dinosaur that you have no way to develop in this park, for example, until you go to somewhere else. But the nice thing about this game, you can have 4 or 5 different parks running all at the same time, and while you upgrade other species of dinosaurs in a future park, you can then come back to the previous one and then bring them to the previous one. So if we click on here, let's do the security mission first. So it says build and connect your expedition center. And this will increase the security reputation, and it will give us cash reward 250,000. So, and the expedition center is really good to have anyway. So click on here, operations, click on here, expedition center, and place it down. Now, to rotate, you can press Z or X on the keyboard. That's what allows you to rotate. Now, even though it says it highlights this green as if you have to place it in this green area, you really don't. You can place it anywhere where there's space. So, but initially, let's just keep everything separate. So we want to rotate it. So we're going to keep the path. You can see the path indicator at the bottom next to here. Now, one thing I would recommend as well, when you build buildings, make sure you have some space next to the path, because later on you can upgrade the paths. You can make them a lot thicker, denser, to allow more people to walk, and it's a good idea to have some space in case you decide to do that. So let's put this, let's put it here, for example. Okay, so this is building. As before, you need to build it and connect it as a path to the main path, and that symbol there shows you that you need to do that. Okay, now when this is finished building, we will get this reward and we'll get some money and so on. And then I'll show you how this works. Now, I know that the game will take you through a lot of these items anyway, but I really wanted to explain to you important things to consider when doing this. And when we've gone through the basics, I'll show you the rest. I'll show you the decisions I made with building my own parks. Okay, right. So you have the expedition center. So what the expedition center is, like I said before, it will allow you to send expeditions all around the world. Now this costs money, but the reward can be great. So click here, expedition map, and you have all these points. These yellow points are places you are available but you haven't been to yet. And each one will tell you which dinosaurs can be researched from them. So we're going to go for here. It costs 60,000 for the Edmontosaurus. Okay, we're getting a transmission. Okay, so it says a mission has popped up conveniently saying acquire the Edmontosaurus. So perfect. And if we do that, then we'll get a reward of $1 million. So let's start this mission. Best not to avoid the missions because you need the money, especially at the beginning. So click here, Edmontosaurus, and that's it. So now it's researching it. It will take probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes to finish the expedition. So to exit, press escape. Now, in the meantime, if we look at the Hammond Center, Incubator Dinosaur, you can see, for example, here, they said 44%, 0%, lots of dinosaurs that will be available in the future. But if you want to increase this all the way to 100%, then you need to do more expeditions, get more of the fossils and it will increase the amount of this percentage. Eventually, it can go all the way to 100%. At that point, when it's 100%, any more fossils which are related to that dinosaur, you can just sell them. They'll have no value anymore. So there's no harm in getting excess because, you know, for the money. Okay, so now you can always click at any time. You can go back to the expedition map, or you can click here on the control room, and you have all the different tabs. So here it shows you all the different islands which become available. You can see that these are the islands we're working towards, and then this is the sandbox mode. And then here, expedition map, we can see the timer of the expedition that we have left. Here we have fossils. Okay, so you can see that we already have some fossils available. So what I would recommend, this is just my recommendation, you don't have to do this, but the higher the star value of each fossil, the more percentage you will get. What I've done personally is that anyone that is 2-star or higher, I extract the DNA. Anyone that's 1 star, I sell them for the money. So that's just how I've done it. It seems to work really well, so I'm going to do it. So for each one, you can select them all. You can extract the DNA, and this will increase our DNA. Thankfully, each one won't take that long at all. You see, they're probably like 30 seconds each. Now, if we look at the research tab, this is from the research center. We can see different items are available for different categories, and they will increase as time goes on. So, as you go along, you can then get better buildings, more site attractions for your audience, more security, upgrades for existing buildings, such as increased power from the power plant. And that's a really good one to get initially. So here, improved output. We're going to research that first, and that will take about 3 minutes. Okay. And then this one just gives you some lore, some information about the different areas if you want them. Okay. So now we can see just in time that the expedition has come back. So let's go to our fossil center again. So you see, we got some good items back from the expedition. So we got this 3-star. So I'm going to extract it. Sorry. And then you have another one. Let's extract that. Now this one is just valuable. It has no dinosaur DNA at all, but you can sell it for $100,000. So hell yeah, you know, why not? So we sell that because we always need money coming in. And we have all these coming in as well. So all of these are being currently researched as well. In the meantime, let me take you through the upgrades. So if look, for example, at power. Power will become a big problem later, especially when you start building lots of new buildings. So if you click on the power station, it will take you through and it will show you these areas that the power station covers. So for example, you can see here this yellow area means that this substation from the power station is providing power within this circle. So you need to make sure that there are substations set up and that there's power nearby to each of the places. The substations matter. So the yellow area covers where power is given. So if you make a new build, if I made a new building, for example, way out here, it will have the power symbol over it. And what that means is that you need to bring a substation to it in order to provide power for it. Okay, so, and to do that, simply click on power, click on substation, and you can see the substation shows where the region is. For the sake of this video only, I'm going to show you. So let's say I want to do power over here. So we do that, we made a substation, but we need to connect it to the network. Otherwise it has no value. So connect, and then connect it to the network, and then now we have power way over here. So yeah. Now we can see as well that the Envitosaurus is still not finished. So what you need to do, you do the expedition again. You can either click again on the expedition center and go to expedition map, or the quick way, control center, expedition map, and then send it again. There's literally no reason at all you can't do the same one again. Eventually, some of the expedition zones might deplete, and then you can't go to them again. But generally, most of them you can just go over and over again to increase percentages. And it's a good idea to do that, but always be mindful of your money. So as I said before, right now we're not making any money. We're losing money, in fact. We're losing $7,000 a minute because we don't have any reason for the park to fill up with visitors. Okay? Now, there was also the research we were doing on the power plant upgrade. So you see, that's about to finish now. Okay, so it's about to finish. Done. So we have improved power output. So let's load it. For each building, if upgrades are available, click on the building, click this up symbol, and then we can apply upgrades to it. So we have here improved output. Let's attach it. Now there's no reason you can't put it over and over again in every slot. So we're going to put it in both slots. So we've improved output twice. Okay. So now we have a lot more power coming out of this station. Eventually, you can research upgrades to the upgrades. So for example, there is such a thing as output 2.0, output 3.0, and so on, reduced upkeep and stuff like that. And if you are building a base in a hazardous zone, which is subject to storms or whatever, you can put these items like outage protection. Okay, so the goal of the game is to build a successful park, obviously. And there's a lot of facilities. So operations is obviously operations, things that you need to run the base and research and get more dinosaurs and so on. The enclosures are what you need to contain the dinosaurs, research and release them. So if you click on enclosures, let's set up some food for the dinosaurs. So here we go. So now we've placed some food so that the dinosaur will be fed. Now, also within enclosures later on, you have different types of feeding. So this is for tall dinosaurs. These are for the carnivores. Here's a viewing gallery. So this increases the amount of fun, let's say, for the visitors if they can view the dinosaurs in an open viewing area of the enclosure. And again, so we built a new building. We need to make sure that we connect it to the path. So let me show you. Let's connect it up. So we connected it to the path, but as you can see, there's no power. So as we discussed before, let's do a substation right here that will cover this whole region. And then let's connect it to the network. There you go. So now this building will have power. Okay. Now, the way it works. So every time as well, things to keep an eye out. Now that the helicopter is back, we know the expedition has come back. So click on fossils. So what did it bring? 4 stars. Excellent. So let's extract the DNA. And 3 stars, extract the DNA. And I would recommend you always, if you can afford it, send expeditions out. Like, you want the expeditions to go out as often as you can. But like I said, always be mindful of your money. Now, so far for the guests, we have a viewing gallery. So literally all they can do in this park is come here and look at stuff, essentially. So now you have this tab here called guests. This is what gives attractions to the park. Things I would recommend setting up an emergency shelter, because in case a dinosaur breaks out of the enclosure, you don't want any danger to life, and then you can enable them and so on. But I'll show you that in my other park. You can set up a hotel, gift shop, fast food outlet, and then later on you can unlock these other facilities. You can have a monorail system, an arcade, a toy shop, a fossil zone, a bar, a clothes shop, and so on. But this is part of the research. So the more advanced your center becomes, the better. Now, always keep in mind to do all these missions. So you see here, there's a mission at the bottom right. It says, incubate and release an Edmontosaurus, construct an ACU center, research the item ACU reload speed 1.0. And these missions will occasionally pop up, which helps you just expand and learn. So it says here, unearth a Decarex fossil. That means do an expedition to get a Decarex fossil. So let's accept that. Now, that's it. That's the basics. So let me show you the park I set up previously, and I want to take you through the decisions I've made and so on, which might give you a help. And this is basically obviously the fun of the game, is that your design, your imagination, your management skills are all put to the test in this game. But like I said, I find the game extremely fun. So, but this is for me, of course. You need to decide for yourself if this looks like a game for you. Okay, so now, apparently there's a dinosaur threat. So where is the dinosaur threat? Let me deal with that before people are put in danger. Okay, so this dinosaur is outside of the enclosure. So one thing you can do eventually, if dinosaurs are a problem, you can tranquilize them and then put them back in their pin after you've repaired the walls. Now, anyway, let me take you through the basics of here. So this is the same level that we were doing, and this is really obviously advanced. I've got the power station here. I've upgraded it a lot. So I've got improved output 2.0, improved output 2.0 because I need as much power as possible. I've got a storm defense station set up. I have loads of dinosaurs set up here. I've got a clothes shop, a restaurant, a viewing gallery. I've got 2 viewing galleries actually for the guests. I've got here an emergency shelter. So you see here, there's a dinosaur running around. So let's open this shelter. Let's open all of them because the dinosaurs are a problem. And when the dinosaurs are broken out the enclosure, you can get a helicopter, add a task, and we want to tranquilize this dinosaur before he becomes a problem. Now, thankfully, this one is a herbivore, so he's not a direct danger to the guests. But you don't want dinosaurs running around your base. And if any of the carnivores break out, so you can see that person got trampled at least. Now, if you have a carnivore break out, you might actually witness the carnivores eating humans if they don't have an emergency shelter to run to. So that's why they're all running. And the reason you want to open the emergency shelters is because while this is going on and the dinosaurs on the loose, you want to make sure that your reputation doesn't go down too far. If there's dinosaurs running around your park, your reputation will go way down. Okay, so that's been dealt with. He's been tranquilized. So now we're going to transport him. So we do the transport team by pressing T and then selecting transport team. And we're going to put him back in the enclosure. And once the dinosaur safely... to be honest, when the dinosaur is tranquilized, you can probably just shut the emergency shelters. So just close them all. And people are free to explore. Now, it's raining at the moment. That's not a problem. If it was a storm, if you see like a tornado symbol at the top, then you should open the emergency shelters as well, because that is obviously a danger to the residents. Now, you can see here, I've got 3 hotels. I've got an innovation center. I've got obviously more power plants, multiple gift shops. Now, this is the enclosure I set up for the carnivores. Now, carnivores are dangerous, obviously. They're a big problem. That's why you see I've doubled the fences. And even with these fences, I put electrical fences. Now, the reason I put 2 layers is that if they break out of one layer, then hopefully I'll have the time to get them and tranquilize them before they break out to the general public. But if they break through the first layer, then I'll immediately open the emergency shelters for the people. And you can see the monorail system is working as well. And this is just to give people quick access around the park. It's just a nice thing to have. It looks nice. And now the last thing I'll talk about is the ranger teams. So if you press on R, you have the ranger teams. You can have up to 3 teams. You can purchase more. If you add task, now there's things to consider. Things you need to do. 1, you need to fill the deliveries. Especially, you see that one's completely empty. It's red. And then the ones which are blue means they could use some refilling. Also as well, the rangers can repair, like if, for example, let's say a dinosaur breaks the fence, a ranger team can repair the fence for you. And you can actually drive the team. So let me take this team. Let me say drive vehicle. And this is what is really cool. Let's go to the herbivore enclosure. So right here. So we're driving through. We'll try not to run anyone over. I obviously know where the center is because I played this game a lot. Now, you can see here, all these blue means that they need to be resupplied. So let's resupply all of them. And if you want, you can manually tranquilize the dinosaurs. You can manually do this. But what you can also do, you can take pictures. Let's say I'm interested to take a picture. Oh, this dinosaur. And this is perfect timing. There is obviously the sad truth. There's life and there's death. So eventually dinosaurs die. So you want to remove dead dinosaurs from your park. So what you do is you press T, get your transport team, and click here. When you click on a dead dinosaur, it's literally going to just take it off the park. Okay, fence is broken. So where is the fence broken? Who's breaking out of the fences? here. So this fence is broken. So this dinosaur has broken out, which means I'm going to, again, set the ACU team after them. So add task, tranquilize him. Because we don't want him to break out into the general public. So hopefully this will give us time. See, he's trying to. He's trying to break out. I don't know if necessarily he will get out, but let's send a team to repair that fence. And just because it's a carnivore, I'm going to open my emergency shelters just until the dinosaur is enclosed. So, because I don't want any danger to any of the people. And for the other team, this team that's repairing fence, you can click up to multiple tasks. So, this fence, I think this fence here, repair. Here. So let's repair this fence as well. And why not? Let's resupply. Now, the dinosaurs can really be motivated to break out their enclosures if there is no food. If the food supplies run out, then... okay, so he's been tranquilized. So the ranger teams are coming to deal with it, to repair the fences and so on. He'll be tranquilized for a while, this guy. All these are just sheep. These are like food sheep for them to eat and stuff. But that's why you have to make sure you keep an eye on the amount of food. Because like I said, they're motivated to go out if there's no food. Now, there's still that dead dinosaur. Okay, another dinosaur's died. And again, this is life. You know, things die. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you in this video is the modifying genomes. So if you want to incubate a dinosaur, let's say I want these are the dinosaurs available to me right now. Let's say I want to get this guy. You can click on modify genome. Now, this is part of the research we've done previously. So I've unlocked different stats for different dinosaurs. And it depends on the dinosaur, but you can see the different stats and what they bring. So this will give it more resilience, more viability. This will give it a more attack power. I don't know why you would do that. This will give it longer, more defense, but less lifespan, and so on. So you can select which one you want by clicking on it or pressing enter, and so on. And that's it. So at this point in the game, your day-to-day management of the facility is this. If there's any problems, like how to deal with it. Okay, so we have another dinosaur who's broken out. So now the emergency shelters are still open. So let's send again the ACU task. Let's tranquilize this guy. And so on. So like I said, they can be highly, highly motivated to break out if there is no food. So just always make sure that they have food to eat. And also as well, make sure that every enclosure I said has got water. Now, one thing you can do, if there is no water where you built the thing, you can do landscaping. So let's say I want to add water. You can just literally... Sorry, let me do it somewhere else. Let me see if I can add it here or something. Okay, let's open space. Let's try here, for example. Oh, wow. There we go. You see how we're building water? I mean, I know it's silly to do this, but that's how you would do it. You can also add trees. So let's say add a tree there, add a tree here. You can also hold the mouse key down if you want to add a bunch. And you can add grass. You can also lower and raise the ground, or you can flatten it if you need to flatten it for buildings. So that's it. Now, in this first level, there isn't many problems, let's say. It's like the occasional dinosaur will break out, but it's not that big of a deal. Later on in other levels, you'll see there'll be a whole list of problems. You'll have tornadoes, you'll have attacks and so on. So, returning to base. Oh, lol. So, this guy can't return to base because he's enclosed in the outer fence. That's actually funny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a gate right here. So enclosures. So you have to react and respond. Okay. So now this guy is going to turn around and he's going to use the gate to leave. I think that's a good... I need to probably add a couple of gates just to make sure. So let's see, enclosures, blah, blah, blah. Let's add another gate there in case they need to go in and out at their own free will. So you see, now they're trying to leave and so on. Cool, that's it. And the good thing is, with any of the teams, you can click on it and it says here, drive vehicle. At any time, you can enter a vehicle which is going. And if you want to leave it, just escape and they will do what they need to do. To add task, let's say, let's try and redo some of the food, for example. If you're obviously zoomed out too far, then it's a problem. Now, the shelters are still closed because I believe there's still dinosaurs out of the enclosure. But that's it, guys. Let's just leave it at that for now. It's a case of manage it. Make sure you have a good reputation, that you have lots of money coming in. Obviously, right now my reputation sucks because there's been so many dinosaur escapes and so on. But that's it. Make sure there's a lot of variety. Get the most use out of your space. And as you go along, keep doing the research and expeditions from your control room, and that's it. And you can have a park as good looking as this, or even better. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked this this video. If you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. You can watch a random video over there. You can watch the latest upload down there, or you can click down here to subscribe. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.